Hi, welcome back to the Lift and Glow Fitness podcast. Today's quote is: stopping your worst habit would change your life much faster than starting your best habit. Fix the leak before filling the bucket. I love this quote. This is from We Think Deeply, and it's one of those carousels which is like 9 statements that change my brain chemistry. And the whole post is great, but this one specifically screamed at me because I feel like we always want to do more. We want to take this supplement. We want to do this extra workout. We want to increase our steps by so much. We want to do, rather than thinking, what are the things that are actually holding me back? So while you're sitting there right now, think, what is something that could be holding me back? Like, am I working hard enough in my workouts, or am I just going through the motions? Am I lifting heavy enough? Am I, focusing on my technique enough? If I'm struggling with an exercise, I've sent Haley a video to go through my form. Like, these types of things. Are you actually putting your all into those 3 workouts before even thinking about adding a 4th one? When you're thinking about your food, if you're like, oh, well, this calorie target's easy for me now, I'll just go into a more aggressive calorie deficit. Instead of doing that, think about how can you make that nutrition better within your current calorie target. So maybe right now 400 calories a day are being used on chocolate. How can you reduce that to get more good fuel in? It's not about adding more supplements, adding more workouts, adding more steps, increasing that calorie deficit. You don't always need to do that. A lot of the time you are doing something that is holding you back, but you're not yet addressing it. And it could be the snacking, it could be your mindset, it could be letting your mood dictate how you show up every day, or it could be that every single time you go to a restaurant you're completely out of control. It could be every single time you have a glass of wine that turns into a boozy night out. Like, there is something, I'm pretty sure for everyone, I know there is for me, there is something, there is a habit, an old habit that you've had for a long time. Something there is holding you back. How can you work on that thing instead of adding something else? Because more is not better. It's about doing less better. Okay, so really, really think about it. Where is your bucket leaking? What areas, what way of thinking, what habits are stopping you from feeling in line or getting you closer to your goal? And I just think let's focus on that for this week or the rest of this month. And even send me a message, drop me a message and let me know what yours is. It could be the snacking, it could be the over ordering, it could be snoozing the alarm. There's a habit somewhere that you're doing that is holding you back from your goals. So what is it? Okay, so we're here for our weekly community Q&A, and we are in a bit of a different setup because I'm going to start putting these on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. So this is going on YouTube now, and so I wanted to fix the setup and just make it better quality. I know most of you do listen on Spotify, but there are a lot of people who listen now on podcasts, listen to podcasts on YouTube even. So this is our weekly community Q&A. Every single person that I discuss, that we speak about, is a real person. I haven't made any of this up. They are real wins, real struggles, real questions. The wins and name the member, the struggles and the questions are completely confidential. Okay, so we'll start off with our wins. We've got Ellie. Now Ellie has had a huge win, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you will know how this feels. When you go shopping, do you just hate that situation where you find yourself in the changing rooms, the lighting's really not good, the mirror's about this close to your nose, and everything just looks horrible. You're struggling to find things that fit, you're struggling to find things that suit you. It's just not a nice experience. I know how this feels. I've got major PTSD from being a teenager and going bra shopping and not finding a single bra in the whole of Liverpool that fit me, because I used to have massive boobs. It was mad. All of my weight went to my boobs. And so this, I know pretty much everyone listening to this will be able to resonate with that experience of going shopping and just not enjoying it. Ellie's win this week is: I enjoyed shopping for myself for the first time. That is amazing. The fact that you've been working hard on your health, your habits, you've been training in the gym, you've been getting some activity in, you've been working hard on your nutrition. The fact that you've been doing that and now you're enjoying a shopping trip is a huge fucking win. It's massive, because I know how that feels. And it's you see that transformation in yourself. And like, if right now you're listening to this and you don't enjoy shopping and you hate the way you look and feel in clothes, let this be your motivation to not give up. Like, all Ellie did was fully commit. She fully committed. She did some one-to-one coaching with me at the start of the year. Absolutely smashed it, worked hard, learned. Now she's just a member of the app. She doesn't have one-to-one coaching anymore. And now she's just absolutely glowing with confidence to the point that she loves an experience that she used to hate. I just made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And it is a huge win, because I'm pretty sure we all know what it feels like to stand in that changing rooms, potentially crying because you can't find an outfit that you feel good in. Okay, me next win, this is the final one, is from Kylie. So Kylie went on holiday. Easter holidays is huge. So many of you went away. And she said that even though she was at an all-inclusive, she focused on building her meals around protein. Amazing. And she didn't eat all of the desserts. So she will have had some desserts. She will have enjoyed herself with her food. She definitely will have let loose more, but she didn't feel the need to eat all of the desserts every single day, which is fantastic. When you're on holiday, it's completely your choice. You can either be like, you know what, I'm on holiday, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're just going to do it. That's fine. And you work hard for your holidays, so if you want to do that, then do that. But if you go on a holiday regularly, if you go on a holiday a few times a year, we probably can't be doing that for like 3 or 4 times, for 2 weeks every time, because we're always going to go backwards a little bit. I genuinely feel better on holiday when I indulge where I really want to indulge, and where I pull back in places. So for example, I love alcohol. I don't know how many health and fitness coaches you will hear say that, but I do love alcohol. I love having a little beer with my husband of an afternoon, and then we drink, okay? We drink. But me breakfast, I don't have full Englishes, I don't have pancakes, I have me fruit and my yogurt, or I have like avocado and bacon, and that's just every morning, because I know I'm going to be in a bikini all day and I want to feel okay, and I know that I've got my fair share of calories from the alcohol, and that's what I'm valuing most at an all-inclusive. I don't love the food at an all-inclusive. I'm eating to fuel, and the all-inclusive gets rinsed with the alcohol, let's just say. Me lunch, always eat a sandwich, always eat a salad. Again, I'm in a bikini, I don't want to feel minty, I don't want to feel bloated. And then me dinner, 3 courses, alcohol, it's happening. And so I choose to do it like that, because that is genuinely what makes me feel my best. I have done many all-inclusives where I've piled my breakfast plate up, piled my lunch plate up with foods that I don't even want, and like just eating it all for the sake of it because it's free. And it's not, like, it's just this like all you can eat mentality that you don't need to have. It feels much better to walk away from a table being like, I ate like good food there, I feel good, and I'm ready to go and prance around in my bikini, or whatever you do. Go to the water park and not vomit on a slide, whatever it is. Like, that feels much better, to walk away from that meal and be like, feel good, feel satisfied, than to walk away and be like, why did I have 3 plates of pancakes? Why did I then just like have a bowl of cereal just to top it off? Why have I took a cake away with me? Like, we don't usually feel good after overeating. We don't use, like, that experience of overeating might feel good in the moment, but after it, typically the feelings are not that good. It's like, oh, I feel a bit sick. Oh, I can't be arsed going to this water park now. Oh, I can't be arsed going for the walk that I said I was going to go for. Like, you don't feel good. You don't feel energized. And like, my goal is just to feel as good as I can every day. And sometimes that looks like saying yes. A lot of the time it looks like pulling back. So I absolutely love that, she's gone away, she's enjoyed herself, she's still built her meals around protein, she didn't forget about her health, and she also didn't eat all of the desserts, but pretty sure she ate some, which is great. Okay, let's go through some struggles. Okay, first one, body image. Now, when I read this, I was like, did I write this? Because, so basically this is what she said: my body image has been showing this week. So her poor body image, she's struggling with her body image a little bit this week. And it probably means that, so no, I know it probably means because I'm on my period, but it's been really bad. I've been thinking some horrible things about myself. Okay, so what we have to remember about body image is it does fluctuate, okay? So your weight fluctuates, but also how you see and perceive yourself, and not just yourself, but other people and situations changes depending on your menstrual cycle. Now, girls, we are complicated creatures. Like, I can't stress that enough. We are complicated creatures, but we're fun. And like, I like to be fun. I like to have a constant change, and well, this is what I've just got to deal with. Maybe it would be easier to just be a straight and narrow all the time, but let's say that's boring and we're fun. So we do have this kind of roller coaster of thoughts, feelings, and emotions throughout the month, and energy level. Let's not forget. I'm due on my period in the next couple of days. I am not feeling hot. Okay. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and picking apart things that 2 weeks ago I couldn't give a flying fuck about. Okay. My biggest insecurities come to me at the end of my menstrual cycle. And I'm pretty sure you can relate to this because it is like a common part of like the way our hormones fluctuate. So it is normal to have these feelings, and it's normal to like go through the motions today. So I had not just negative feelings about how I looked, but also like other things. So you'll find that other people irritate you for the slightest thing, or you get frustrated in situations that you wouldn't usually. So say you're driving the car, this time of month is the time where you end up beeping and like, don't know, road raging. Whereas every other time you're like flashing people, letting them go and just being like, oh, don't worry, it's fine. Like, you do have a shorter fuse, not just with yourself, but with everyone else. You're going to be more critical of not just yourself, but other things around you. This is the time of month where I'm like, my house is pissing me off. It needs painting. I need to tidy that. Like, this is it's just that time. And your hormones are just in this state where we feel this way sometimes. If you don't feel this way, good for you. Good for you. You must be level. But basically what I'm going to say about this is that I know this about myself, and you should know this about yourself too. We know that we are cyclical creatures and that we have patterns, and we know that some weeks we feel great and other weeks we don't feel that great. And so instead of attaching too much, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Instead of attaching like, overthinking it and trying to change it and trying to be like, oh, why am I like this? Why am I like this? Just be like, you know what? Remind yourself, I'm at the end of my cycle. I'm feeling critical of myself and other people. I just need to wear baggy clothes, maybe just not spend too much time looking in the mirror, and I need to keep my mind elsewhere. Okay? So, and I do that not just like with body image, but with other things as well. Like this week, if I try and like snap at Fran, I'll be taking a deep breath first and thinking, is this something that I would normally flip about? No? Okay, let it go. And like, I think it's just knowing yourself and being like, I'm at this stage where I don't feel that good. And so I'm going to do what I can to try and feel good. I'm going to wear my baggy clothes. I'm going to wear my stretchy pants. I'm not going to spend too much time looking in the mirror. If you find yourself looking in the mirror, like I did it this morning, looking in the mirror and I'm criticising myself, I'm like, Hayley, fuck off, get off. And I just went and walked away from it. Like, why indulge in it? Why? You don't have to, like, just because you have a thought, best thing anyone has ever said to me in 2021 in Dubai. Just because you think something doesn't mean you have to think it. So just because a thought comes into your head, so say I have a thought in my head, oh, you're ugly, you, like about myself. Just because that thought landed in my head, it doesn't mean I need to give it attention. I don't need to be like, yeah, I am. Oh my God, yeah, I am. I really am. And this bothers me and this bothers me. I don't need to let that thought grow. I can just be like, oh, I don't like that thought. Go away. And that's what I did. Stood up, moved away, came downstairs, had a coffee, stroked the dog, all was good again. And so it's just recognizing that this is probably something that is going to happen again. And it's not that, you've got a problem. It's just that sometimes of the month you don't feel good. And, other times of the month you do. Like everyone, when you're around your ovulation, that's when you're feeling quite good, where you wear your tight clothes, or maybe you're just feeling a bit more glowing, your skin feels nicer, and you just feel better at that time, and we can therefore feel a bit more confident. We are not boring. We are very interesting cyclical creatures, and body image fluctuates just as much as weight and mood and energy. And so know that and bear it in mind. So things that really help me, like literally going through this right now, if I have any thought that I don't find helpful, I breathe. I literally just sit, take a breath, ask myself, is this a helpful thought? No. Is there anything I can do about this thought right now? So if it's about my appearance, I can't just go and get a transplant, like a leg transplant or a face transplant or a hair transplant. I can't do that. Is there anything about that I can do right now? No. Is there something I can do about it? Yeah, I could put a bit of makeup on. Actually, my skin's not really feeling good, so I know I'll make myself feel better and put a bit of makeup on. Okay, great. Do that thing. But if there's nothing you can do, move on. Okay, distract yourself. So if you have this, you're tearing your body apart, ask yourself, is there something I can do about this right now? Yeah, there is actually. I just get away from the mirror, put a comfy pair of trackies and a t-shirt on, and then move on with my day and forget about it. And then do something good. Put on happy music. Like, I've got a Happy Haley playlist that is on all the time, girls. Whenever a thought comes into my mind that I don't want, if I'm stressed, if I'm overwhelmed, I like get a bit of Happy Haley on, get out of the house, go for a walk, like stroke the dog, get a little bit of oxytocin, hug your husband, your mom or your sister or your child. Like, there's things that you can do to remove yourself from thinking about that thought. You don't need to think your thoughts, okay? Please remember that with anything. You don't need to think about them. You don't need to give them attention. Unhelpful thoughts will always pop in your head. It's up to you whether you give them attention or not. And I do really like to, I'm quite a logical person. So logically, I'm like, is there anything I can do about this right now? Yes. Okay, do the thing and then move the fuck on. Is there anything I can do about this right now? No. Okay, move on. Like, that is the simplest way to logically get out of this overthinking spiral. And it is normal to think bad things about yourself. Like, I have to be honest, I've been through times of self-loathing, but that only got worse the more I allowed it to happen. And now I don't allow myself to do it. I'm like, I care for myself. I love myself. I respect myself. I respect my body, and I'm going to show up that way. Yes, unhelpful thoughts will come my way, but I know I don't need to think them. I can just carry on doing something helpful, productive. Okay, next. This is actually a really cool struggle. I'm struggling with how highly motivated I feel at the moment. I know that sounds strange, but I've come back from holiday feeling really eager to get started. I've done a healthy food shop. I'm thinking 3 strength sessions aren't enough. I can do Monday to Friday and I'm not eating any snacks, but I'm almost waiting for the crash to come. I know this kind of motivation doesn't last, so I don't want to burn myself out because this is a short burst of motivation. Okay, so first of all, don't burn yourself out. Let's go back to the quote that I started on, and it was, stopping your worst habit would change your life much faster than starting your best habit. Fix the leak before filling the bucket. You do not need to do more, okay? You just need to ride this wave. You just need to keep doing the basics and ride the wave of it feeling nice and easy. Like, indulge in it. Oh, I am on one and I am loving it. I'm loving my training. I'm loving my meals. Feel fucking great. Like, indulge in that. Appreciate it. Like, say it out loud. Coming out from the gym, made up, excited to get to the gym. Like, literally let yourself bathe in that feeling, because it will go. And that's just part of us. It's part of being who we are. And so I don't think you need to do more. And I also don't think you need to be ready and raring for the crash, okay? I don't think you need to think anything about this high motivation. I think you just need to ride it, okay? We ride the wave, whether the waves are rough or whether they're smooth. So try not to think overly emotionally about either. So when things are going good, I'm like, things are going good. I'm not like, things are going good. It's all too good. I'm just like, things are going good. Like, just ride that wave. Let it be easy. Let it be smooth. Don't think, oh, but it's going to go bad. It's going to go bad. I know it's going to go bad. Don't overthink it. Just ride the wave. Your next wave will come when it's ready, and you can address that when it's here. You don't need to think about it in advance. So you're anticipating burnout. You're anticipating a drop in motivation. You're not going to burn yourself out if you are doing the basics. Burnout only happens when you are eating too little, working too much, training too much. You're not doing that. You're going to do your 3 strength sessions. You're going to eat your nutritious food. You're still going to let yourself have a little bit of chocolate here and there. We're not doing anything dramatic or drastic. We're not going to turn this high motivation into a really aggressive, overly restrictive situation. You don't need to do that. You just need to do the basics and just keep riding that wave of it feeling good to do the basics. And then, if you do get a dip in motivation, doesn't matter. Carry on doing the basics. Carry on riding that wave of low motivation, but just doing the things that you need to do. So I do love that. Like, I love that you're in the swing of things, but also it's telling me a lot about your mind, because you're like, oh, I'm really motivated, I'm really excited about this, but I know the crash is coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. You don't need to think like that. Like, don't overthink the future. Like, just take every day as it comes and ride the waves when they're good and ride the waves when they're rough. Just show up and do the basics. It will always help. Okay, it's been a week off everything for me. This week, which I do really struggle with, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel guilty for resting, but as I mentioned, I've been having some health issues, and so I've rested up and had some lovely sunny dog walks and just potted about and went to a lovely yoga class, which started with a mindful outdoor walk. So that was really nice. Okay, so your body will give you signs when you need to slow down. Your body gave you signs over the last few weeks that you need to slow down. Stress, illness, those types of things cannot be ignored. Okay, like, if I have a really difficult week with work, I'm not going to beat myself down with tough training sessions. I might go to the gym and go through the motions, but I might also take an extra rest day if I'm really struggling, like, and sleep is up the wall. Let's like put this into like a logical perspective for you. You do not get results. You did not get your results in 1 week. You didn't even get them in 2 weeks. You've been a member of this community for like 5 years. Like, that's amazing. That means you've been consistent, you've been hardworking, you've been training hard. And because you've been in that much of a routine, this is why slowing down feels hard. Because you're like, oh, but all of my instant, like all of my dopamine, all of my little hits of doing hard things and showing up for myself are not there. So, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because your body right now needs to recover from not being well. And so instead of thinking about what you can't do, think about what you can do. You are not going to lose your progress. You're not going to lose your results. You know, a couple of weeks of rest is needed. So what can you do instead of thinking what you can't do? And you've done it perfectly there. I went on sunny dog walks. I went to yoga. Maybe this is the perfect time to read a new book. Maybe it's the perfect time to start a meditation practice. Like, maybe it's the perfect time to get consistent at Duolingo. Like, when we take forced rest, when we take forced breaks, whether that's like an injury or, you know, illness or whatever, when you have that forced break, if you're looking around thinking, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, find the try and find use the time to do something that you maybe haven't done before, because you do go to the gym, or, you know, like, find joy in the little things, like sitting still and watching shit on YouTube or Netflix. Like, slow down. This is something that your body needs. You're not making excuses, so there's no reason for you to feel guilty. You have a valid, genuine reason to be resting, and so no guilt and no bad feelings should come with that. Try and use, instead of thinking about what you can't do, let's think about what you can do. Use your time doing something else that's going to help you. Okay, I got a bit fed up of tracking food, so I didn't track for a few weeks, but I had too many snacks, so I still feel like I need the accountability to help me get the body I want. I am unsure, right? Tracking, for me, it feels controversial at the moment for me, because if you only stay on track while you're tracking, it's not, and then you fall off track when you don't, and you lose the plot when you're not tracking. You don't have a tracking problem, okay? We know the tracking works. We know that you can control your food when you are tracking every calorie. What you need to work on is building the muscle of restraint, building the muscle of discipline, and building that routine of eating that you can stick to without tracking. If you are 2 years into your journey and you're still tracking food, I want to know why. Like, I want to know why, even after a year of tracking, we are still tracking. To me, I haven't like fully helped someone unless I've helped them maintain their weight, feel good in their body, and tracking is no longer a thing. They don't feel the need to do that. If you always need to track, You like the seeing the numbers, and that helps you like gain control. We need to find control outside of those numbers. So you said that you were snacking more. You know for a fact, if you've had one chocolate bar and then later on you go for another chocolate bar, you know full well, you're a grown woman, everyone here is, you know full well that that is not in line with what you would do if you were tracking. You know full well that that's going to lead you to consuming more calories than what you would have done if you were tracking. You know that. You know that behavior isn't helpful. So why do you need a calorie counter to tell you that? Calorie counting is to educate you. It's to show you where you're getting your nutrition from. It's to show you how many calories each food has. It's to show you how much protein and fiber you get from different foods. It's to help you build a routine of eating that then you should just repeat and stick to. If you need to keep going back to it to regain control, it's because you haven't built a routine of eating. It's because you're not paying attention to what your day of food looks like. So if snacking crept in because of you stopped tracking food, you don't need to track again. You need to work on snacking. So don't add in tracking again. You already know. You know what your meals are. You know what your portion sizes should look like. You know it's 3 high protein meals and 1 to 2 snacks. You know that. You know that's your structure. So you don't need tracking for the accountability. What you need is to actually stick to your routine. If you say you're only going to have less than 200 calories on, like junk food, then that's what you do every day. Tracking or not, that's what you do. Okay, so I actually don't think here that tracking is the answer. I think we need to start building the muscle of self-discipline without tracking, because it really makes me sad to see the fact that if I came and found you in 8 years' time, you'd still need MyFitnessPal. Let's remember, people improved their health. People lost weight when iPhones didn't exist. Technology wasn't there. So the goal is to use the technology to a point where we need it, and then we move on. We need to get free from it. The journey for my one-to-one clients is we track food in some way, whether it's MyFitnessPal. A lot of people don't want to do that, so they'll take photos or they'll give me a written food diary. We do that for a certain amount of time. We get them to a weight that they are happy with, okay? Once we do that, I take them to maintenance calories. Now let's learn what it looks like to maintain this weight. This is how you eat to maintain the goal that you've just achieved. Then we pull away from all tracking. We stop taking photos. We stop doing the food diary. We stop tracking on MyFitnessPal, whatever it is that you're doing. And it's like building trust. Right now, you're breaking your trust because you're saying to yourself, I'm going to stick to this, healthy, nutritious way of eating. But then you break it by overly snacking or overdoing it on portion sizes. You need to build trust. When you say you're only going to have 1 chocolate bar a day, stick to it. More snacks crept in because you didn't stick to that routine that would work. And so I genuinely don't think that just going back to tracking is just going to keep this same cycle stuck. What I would really, really love is if you pulled this back without having to track. Remind yourself, what did your meals look like when you were tracking? What did your snacks look like when you were tracking? What was your structure? What was your routine? Just repeat that moving forward. Honestly, do not ever think for a minute that you need to track forever to maintain your weight. Nobody does. And if you do, it's erring on the side of needing too much control, and that can be a problem in itself. So I would really, really love every single woman listening to this to get to the point where you can just maintain a healthy, happy, confident place without needing to track on an app. You don't need to do that with your food. It's helpful, but you don't need to do it forever. Okay, my period come and it was we're all synced up, isn't it? My period come and it was one like no other. I was ravenous. I was very emotional. I went to the gym on the Thursday and cried and walked out and got a McDonald's on the way home. I'm going to turn it into a win if I can though. I enjoyed the McDonald's, chilled for the night, got my emotions together and cracked on the next day, back to tracking and back in the gym. I really enjoyed the workout. I just accepted days like that will come, but it's the getting back on the routine the next day. Amazing. Listen, we all have tough days. We all have difficult days. We all have days where we're like, fuck this shit, can't do it. You went to the gym, maybe you felt lack of energy, maybe you'd had a bad day, overcome with emotion, and you went out and popped another tyre by getting a Mackey's. It is what it is. I think, again, just because you did this doesn't mean you failed, and you know that. You didn't let that like blip become a failure. Remember, we only fail if we give up. So you can have blips. You can have a day where all you eat is chocolate, but the next day you better fuel yourself well and you better get out moving. You can have a day where you skip the gym, but don't skip the next one. Like, it's okay if you lose your self-control or you feel overly emotional and you do a bit of comfort eating and you have a Mackey's. That's fine, but don't let that impact the next day or the next week. Like, pick yourself up, brush yourself off. Like, little blips are not failures. Little blips don't mean you're a bad person. I think that's one of the biggest things that hold people back, is that they think that you've got to be perfect with your diet and you can't miss a workout if you want to get results. Your results are not that fragile. You don't get them in a workout and you don't lose them in a workout. You don't get results from one meal and you definitely don't lose results in one meal. And so it's like a compound of behaviors that bring about a result. And so you want to be looking at the long term. If you have 1 or 2 blips in a month, great. You've won the month. If you have a blip every other day, we need to work on handling them blips. Maybe we're struggling to handle our emotions, or we're listening to, we're too stressed, or we're being too restrictive. So this is fine. Like, and I know many of you listening will have had a moment where you just got overwhelmed, it all got too much, and you just went and indulged in something that isn't in line with your goal, but doesn't make you a bad person. What matters is shortening the time between the blip and getting back on track. So if you ate that Mackey's and then spent a week overeating, skipping the gym because of a failure, that's going to hold you back. That's you being self-indulgent. Like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. You're not. You literally just ate a Mackey's. Let's move on. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. Love that. Okay, I'm struggling with getting it all in. I'm usually quite consistent, but the last few weeks have been good for half of the week and then tailed off. I probably haven't been too bad, but I hate it when I miss a walk or a workout. Okay, so I don't know about you, but the last few weeks have been really, really busy. If you are, obviously, Easter was a big bank holiday weekend. I also think this time of year, people start making plans and going on last minute drinks. We had that proper sunny day where everyone was out at the pub and all that. We had races, the races weekend, which, so many people go and celebrate. So I do think that like social calendars starting to pick up and people going on holiday and stuff is starting to pick up. Let's remember that going to the gym 2 times when you're aiming for 3 is still good going. Okay, obviously we would love to hit the 3 workouts every single week, but some weeks life is really that busy. What I would think about doing is, if this is really frustrating you, don't try and leave your workouts too late on in the week. So for example, if you know on a Friday morning you wake up particularly tired, don't schedule your workout for a Friday morning. Get it done on that Thursday so that you can just rest for the rest of the weekend. If you know that on a Friday evening your partner or your friend is going to convince you to go and get a glass of wine after work, don't book your workout in for Friday evening. Make sure you get it done in the morning. So it's like making sure that a lot of people save their workouts for like Saturday, Sunday, or push them to the back end of the week. I would not recommend doing that, because we have more going on over weekend, and it is harder to say no to your family and your friends when everyone's off. So I think generally you're very consistent. Generally, you do your steps, you get your workouts in. The reason you are frustrated by this, the reason that this is a struggle, is because you don't like not doing those things. And I actually think that that's a real bonus. You're so in the routine, you so love how the workouts and how the walk make you feel that it pisses you off when you don't do them. I think that's a great place to be. And so just accept you've had a busier schedule. You haven't been able to be perfect, but it doesn't mean you haven't made progress. And it doesn't mean you haven't showed up for yourself. Yes, it's been imperfect. Yes, it's been a little bit messy, but it is what it is. Draw a line under it. You're not a failure. You don't need to quit because of it. We just move on. And this week, plan it. If you've got social things happening on Friday, get them workouts done before Friday even gets here. If you know that you are not going to be able to go for a walk on Saturday because of this, that, and that, then do more steps on the other days to try and average it out. Like, just do your best to plan. And if it all goes tits up, it's okay. You're only human. We can just brush ourselves off, brush ourselves off, pick up where we left off, and go again. Okay? Right, couple of questions, and then we are done. Tips on how to help food noise. So this is similar to what I was saying before about you don't have to think your thoughts, okay? So sometimes I'll be sat on the couch and I'll be like, I really want chocolate. I really want chocolate. This actually happened on Saturday. I really want chocolate. I really want chocolate. I can't stop thinking about chocolate. And I literally just said, Hayley, grow up. You don't need to have chocolate. And then I did something else, like watch the telly or got into the moment, like got into my body. I think like a lot of us underestimate how impactful it is to just take a breath and to get into the room where you are. Because if we're thinking about food and food isn't sat in front of us, we're just thinking about food, we're not in our body. We're over there with the food or in the cupboard with the food or whatever. So take a big deep breath. Ask yourself, what can you see? What can you smell? What can you hear? What can you taste? And what can you touch? That's the best way to get into your body. Get into the present moment. Get out of your head, away from the noise of the food, and get into your body. Where are you? What are you doing? Who's there? What can you hear? What can you touch? Can you taste anything? Probably not because you're thinking about food. But I think it's that a lot of the time, it's just getting present and being like, I know I'm thinking about chocolate, but right now, this is what's happening here. So I decide to be here. You don't have to think your thoughts. You don't have to give your thoughts more attention than they deserve. And thinking about food that isn't going to help your health and well-being isn't serving you. And so you don't need to think about those things. I know this is really, really simplified. And in the moment, it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong. There's been many times where my thoughts have bounced around my brain. I've really, really struggled to control them. I'm struggling with things mentally that, I'm just finding it hard. But it doesn't mean I don't still use these tools. Like, I sit and I breathe and I get into the moment. And distraction, if I'm honest, is like probably my best thing. If I'm sitting there thinking about food, I'm like, right, okay, what can I do? Let's go and sort that washing, or let's take the dog for a walk, or let's put some happy music on, or let's carry on doing the work that I'm meant to be doing, or let's ring Fran and just have a bit of a moment where, I distract myself for a little bit. Like, it's just having these little tools. Pick up your book, put something more interesting on the telly. If you're watching telly and your mind is racing and you're thinking about burgers and chips, then maybe what you're watching is shit. And maybe you just need to change the scenery and you just need to watch something different, or go and get a hot bath and indulge in some nice music and a little face mask. Just do something else that makes you feel good. You don't need to sit with it. You don't need to let it grow, and you don't need to indulge in that feeling and that thought. You can change it. You can change your state at any time. Breathe, be present, do something different. That's how I would help overcome food noise. Okay, I'm a little bit worried about the day out that I have coming up with my son, as he will want a Slim Chickens, and I know it will be heavy in calories. I don't know what Slim Chickens is, but I would look at the menu and just try and look at the most sensible things. So it's probably not a good idea. You don't want to not do this thing. So I am not a fan of passing on your food fears and worries to children. If your kid is comfortable eating Mackies and you show that there's no guilt around that, they're more likely to have a healthier relationship with food as they grow up. And I do think we need to be mindful of how we talk about food and how we act around food when we're younger, when we're around people who are younger than us. So you can go with him and, you can do what my grandma always used to do. My grandma would never eat a Mackey's. And you know what? It wasn't because she said it was fattening. She was just like, I don't like it. And I think that's why I never got like riddled with guilt. Because even as a teenager, I'd get a Mackey's and she'd sit with a cup of coffee. She's like, I just don't like it. That's fine. Like, if you want to say, I just don't enjoy it, son, then he eats his and you just chill with your coffee. However, you might not want to do that. You might actually want a Slim Chickens, and that might be something that you and him like bond over and enjoy to do, and I'm not going to stop you from doing that. So how can you order sensibly? So normally if you order a burger with chips and a full fat Coke or a milkshake, then that's not going to help you. Can you get a wrap on its own, or a burger on its own, or can you get some chicken strips on their own and just eat them? Can you go for a really moderate meal? So instead of going large, instead of having all the sides, can you just be like, I'll just have the burger. I don't need the chips. I don't need the fizzy drink. I'll just have a water and the burger. You're not ruining your day of eating with a burger. If you make a burger at home, like, you're going to eat 600 calories. If you eat a burger in a burger place, you're going to eat 600 calories. Yes, it's not the best ingredients, but it's 600 calories still. It's still a burger. It's a burger. Some of them are a lot. You can get, I think Big Macs can be like 1,000 calories, so bear that in mind. But all I'm saying is that one burger, that one meal If you choose sensibly, that's not going to ruin your whole day, and it's definitely not going to ruin your whole week. Let's remember, in 1 week we have 7 days, and if on them 7 days you have 3 meals a day, which we should all be having, you have 21 meals a week. If 20 of those meals are high protein, high fiber, fill you great, that's you really taking care of yourself. You can afford to have a burger for that first meal. You can afford to have a Slim Chickens burger. Do it. You don't need the chips, you don't need the milkshake, but the burger, it's not going to do any harm. And I think it's just like remembering this, your results aren't fragile. Your health is not fragile. You can handle having a little treat here and there. Yesterday, just fancied a Marxie's pizza for my lunch. Fran went and got it. I ate it. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay? I don't feel guilty about it. I'm not upset because of it. I didn't fail. It was just my lovely little indulgence for the week, and it was great. I had bits of chocolate and stuff too. But it's like understanding that it's what you do most of the time, not what you do sometimes. You don't eat Slim Chickens every day. You don't eat it a few times a week. Your someone is going for a day out with you. That's what he wants. When was the last time you had one? Was it a month ago, 2 months ago? It's fine. If you're having Chinese banquets every Friday, we need to pull that back. If you're doing something weekly that could be holding you back, that's the thing to focus on. But this sounds like it's like a one-off thing. And so enjoy it, but enjoy it moderately. How can you be really moderate with your order? Don't go large, order sensibly, and eat until 80% full. Like, it always baffles me. When I got with Fran, I just couldn't believe people did this. But we used to go to Mackey's, and he'd order his meal. I'm literally like shaming him here. He'd order his meal, and on the side, he'd be like, and I'll have a double cheeseburger as well on the side. And I know other people did this, because when I mentioned this a year or so ago, loads of people messaged and was like, I do that too. And like, when you go to Mackey's or KFC, you don't need to order all the extras. You don't need a popcorn chicken as well as your crispy strips. You don't need a Big Mac and then a double cheeseburger on the side, or nuggets on the side. You don't need the milkshake. Like, you don't. I know that you want to, but if your goal is weight loss, that's one of the sacrifices that you could make. You could still really enjoy your Mackey's and just take away all the other shit that you have with it, and it's all fine. Like, you can still make progress. It's the overdoing it. It's the over ordering. It's the overindulging. Just because you are at a fast food place or any restaurant doesn't mean you need to overdo it. You can still be mindful, and you can still be sensible. And yes, it might take you over your calories a little bit, but it's not going to spoil the week. Like, you're in a 3,500 calorie deficit over the whole week. Unless you're eating 3,500 calories more than your target, you haven't ruined anything. You're only going to go over by a couple of hundred here and there. Do that 1 day a week, you're fine. Okay, this is the second to last question. I know we're supposed to have 3 full meals, but is it okay to have a protein shake for breakfast? What should I add to it? I don't like granola or Greek yogurt. I'd usually have something like a boiled egg, a strawberry protein yogurt, or some fruit. Do I need to add something to it, or is the shake on its own enough? This is a really good question. Thank you for asking it, because this is one that I do want to drill into people and remind people time and time again. A protein shake is not a meal. I don't care whether the marketing says it is or not. It's not a meal. Your body doesn't want to just have a shake for a meal, okay? And also, if it's just a whey protein shake, it's not a meal. You're only hitting one of the requirements to make a meal. Remember, your meal needs to have more than one ingredient. So a protein shake is not it. We need protein, we need fiber, carbs and fats, okay? So I'm absolutely fine for you to have a protein shake every day for your breakfast. Loads of my clients do, but I always say to have something with it to make it a complete meal. So if you have a protein shake and a bowl of fruit, unreal. Protein shake and toast and peanut butter, amazing. Protein shake, an egg and some strawberries, fantastic. Fat, protein, fiber, mwah, perfection. Okay, so not just a protein shake on its own. We need the fiber. That helps with your gut. Like, a lot of people's guts don't love whey protein. If you have it with fiber, usually can be tolerated better. So I would say, yes, have the protein shake, but how can you make it a complete meal? It's not a complete meal for me unless it has fiber in it. We need fiber with each meal. That's going to help you with digestion. It's going to help you break those foods down. Okay, final question we've got is, if I went to maintenance calories now, would I continue to have physical changes to my body, especially my belly, as that's where I'm most self-conscious? I'm happy with my scale weight now. Okay, so this is body recomposition. So when you go to maintenance, it doesn't mean your transformation is over. When you go to maintenance, you can actually still see a drop in measurements, because when we fuel our body more, we give our body more potential to grow muscle. But just because we're growing muscle doesn't mean that we're not losing fat. And at maintenance is a great place to do both at the same time. You can build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And so, yes, it is possible. However, you do need to make sure that while you're eating at maintenance, you are still eating a really high quality diet. So if those extra maintenance calories come from more chocolate, more crisps, more chippies, more mackies, it's not going to make muscle. It needs to come from your protein, your carbs, your fiber, like nutritious foods. So this is where a lot of people slip. When they go to maintenance, they start eating poorer quality foods. It's not going to help. When you go to maintenance, it's just more of those nutritious foods. So more protein, more fiber, more carbs, more fats, more of the good stuff. Yes, you've still got room to have your little chocolate bar here and there. Yes, you've still got space to indulge in a meal out or a takeaway from time to time. But generally, we want to still be thinking of whole foods, healthy foods. So we still want high quality nutrition. You still need to make sure that you're eating enough protein, if not more protein than you were when you were in a deficit. And then the final thing is, you need to make sure you're working hard enough in the gym. So we cannot build muscle if you are just going through the motions with your 5 kilo dumbbells that you've had since 2020. You will only build muscle if your workouts are getting progressively harder. And the way to make your workouts progressively harder is to lift heavier, lift with better technique, and to really give your all to your sessions. Like, I keep saying this to people in the gym: if you look pretty while you're lifting, you're not lifting heavy enough. Like, I'll look at someone exercising and I'll be like, you need to go up. And they're like, no, it feels heavy. I'm like, girl, you're not even like breaking your brow. You're not like clenching you, like, you're not working, you're not exerting yourself. I can tell by looking at someone if they are giving it their all. And yet it might feel a bit burny in the muscle, but that doesn't mean that it's too heavy. It just means that it's a bit burny and you've done quite a few reps. We need real struggle. You need to fight for those last few reps. Are you always doing 3 sets of 12 and it's just easy? It's always easy to get 12. Or are you aiming for 12 and failing at 9? That means that you're working hard. Like, we actually want to see failure. And I think that's one thing with women in the gym that I don't see a lot of. It's that, like, we go and we do all the reps and we do all the sets smooth, like everything just looks smooth. And it's like, yeah, I'm ticking it off. Yeah, I'm doing it. That's not how it's meant to feel. Like, you're meant to, like, need to have a second before you finish your last 2 reps. You're meant to be pulling faces. You're meant to feel like you're going to pop a vein. Like, it's meant to feel intense. It's meant to feel hard. Like, you cannot complete that rep. So if you're not working hard enough in the gym, you will not build muscle. So go to maintenance. It's bloody great that you're happy with your scale weight. Go to maintenance. Focus on working hard in the gym. Keep your quality of food up there where it has been. You will continue to see changes in your body. That's exactly how I did it. In fact, I ended up completely scrapping tracking, scrapping weighing myself, and I just fueled my body and lifted heavy. I ended up gaining weight, but being a smaller dress size, which was just mind-blowing. So yeah, it's insane. So yeah, it's amazing that you're in this position. And if you want me to update your calorie target on the app, then make sure you send me a WhatsApp message and I will update it. That's all, scales. Our community Q&A and check-in is done. If you were listening to this and you're not currently a member, then just click the link in the description or the show notes. There will be a link there for you to join. It is the Confidence Club. So basically it's my online community. If you are in the Maghull, Liverpool area, there's a link there also for you to join the gym. The next intake is actually June because we are so fucking busy since opening the new gym. But yeah, if you are further afield and you want to have a training plan, you want support with your nutrition, with your habits, you also want to be part of a community and you want to take part in these Q&As, then just click the link in the show notes to join the Confidence Club. And I will see you next week. Bye.